Yo, what's going on, guys? Marsham here. And today I want to go over a situation where a viewer actually asked me how they could go about improving their aim and what their mouse settings should be to get better at aiming in Escape from Tarkov. So I decided that I'd take a few moments and break it all down for them. And I figured that there's probably a lot of people who would find this useful here on YouTube as well. So check it out. There's a few things. A lot of it comes down to your mouse, obviously, right? You aim with your mouse, right? You need to make sure of a couple of things on your computer. So here's the best way to get to it. So what I typed here is mouse, right? Mouse settings, just down here, right? And if you're on Windows 10, it brings this up. Does everybody take notes real quick? Right? So you type in mouse. Then you go to additional mouse settings. You can start looking through here, trying to figure it out, right? There's some settings here. I don't recommend fucking with any of them. This is the most important one to make sure is off. Enhance pointer precision. So this is called mouse acceleration, basically, right? And the way that this works is, so you think enhanced mouse precision, that sounds great. Why would I want that off? So in theory, it is, it's just mouse acceleration. So the way that works is when you go, say I make the same movement with my hand from this to this, right? So I make one movement with my hand, just like that. Now, if I make the same movement with my hand, but I do it faster, right? Say I do it really quickly like that. If mouse acceleration is turned on, the mouse, the cursor, will actually end up somewhere over here. And if I do it really, really slow, but the same amount of movement, right? I do it really slow, the cursor will actually end up here. Now, a lot of people have this on. There are a lot of games out there that override this setting, right? There's a lot of games that override this setting. Tarkov, I don't think, is one of them. Tarkov, I think, actually will utilize your Windows mouse acceleration. So that is... So there's no way to gain any kind of consistency with aiming. There's no way to gain any kind of consistency with aiming if you have that shit turned on in Tarkov. Everybody on board so far? All right. So that's one thing. There are a lot of things also in Tarkov that makes it so that just as Diego brings up, that things are not very consistent, right? What I recommend to get better at aiming in Tarkov is use the same gun armor setups as often as possible. Because the more consistent about which armor you wear and the gun that you use and the optic that you use, the more consistent that you can be, the more likely you're going to be able to develop good habits and patterns for getting the kills. Very, very important, right? Obviously, a million things go into it, but I think that those are... That's the software side of things. Now let's talk hardware. Mouse choice is huge. Mouse choice is huge. People will tell you a million things with regards to mouse choice, right? They'll be like, this one's really good. This is what the pros use. You should use it. Wrong. You should find a mouse that fits your hand and fits your preferences. Everybody, there's two main preferences to look at. Well, three. There's three main preferences, we'll say. One is size. Does it fit your hand? Do you like a wide mouse or a thin mouse? This one is thin. This is a G Pro wireless. And it fits a few different specifications that I really like. Partially, depending on what grip you use, will also determine the size of the mouse that you want to use. If you claw grip, you're typically going to want a smaller mouse. If you palm grip, you're going to want one of the fat wide ones to really get into the palm of your hand. But ultimately, all that matters is that it's comfortable, right? So what, rather than order something on Amazon and maybe have to return it, I recommend go to Best Buy. If you have a Best Buy near you, go to Best Buy or any store that actually has these mice on display. I definitely recommend washing your hands when you're done, putting your grubby paws all over them. Trust. But there are a lot of stores that have like the actual mice on display. You put it in your hand, give her a feel. Another major thing that you have to consider is weight. Do you like a lightweight mouse or do you like a heavy mouse? It's personal preference. Really personal preference. I've decided that I really like lightweight mice. I used to like heavy. Changed my mind. I'm into lightweight mouse now. The last thing is, do you want to go wireless? If you want to go wireless, I think there's only one choice, and it's this one. Because not all wireless sensors are created the same. And I think that the G Pro wireless from Logitech is definitely above and beyond all your other wireless options out there. Other companies will catch up. That will change. But all this is important, and you have to think about it, right? So there's one other thing we have to talk about, but let me make sure that everybody's on board with what I just said first. Very simple things. First, we showed everybody how to turn off mouse acceleration on Windows. Now we're talking about mouse selection. In a second, we're going to go into to DPI. So I use the G502. It's literally right here. It's next to me. I use this on my other PC, my streaming PC, just because it's a mouse that I used to have. I liked it a little bit for a while. It does not compare. In my opinion, here's my ranking of mice that I've tried. In recent history, I say the G502 is actually the worst. Above that is the M65 by Corsair. That's a fatter one that I definitely recommend if you got a big mitt. The G5 or the M65 by Corsair is really nice. It is this one. It also has DPI on the fly on top, which is really nice. We're getting into DPI in a minute. And then this is my most recent one, which is significantly thinner. It's wireless, and it's a feels good, man. It's that G Pro wireless by Logitech. So Logitech makes great mice, and so does Corsair. Razer makes garbage mice. If you want an MMO mouse, I have this one, which is the G600. The G600 is a really nice MMO mouse, or any game that requires a bunch of, the G shift side buttons, right? Last thing you got to talk about is DPI. DPI is important because it basically determines how much juice is in every single movement, right? If you turn your mouse a little bit, is it going to only be a little bit in game, or is it going to be a lot in game, right? I highly recommend, especially for people who are specifically trying to improve their aim, to have your DPI set as low as possible. So if you have one of these mice, it's going to come with basic preset DPIs in the mouse, right? Like this one. So on the bottom of a G Pro, this is not on the fly. This is on the bottom of a mouse. It's not great here. I don't like this. I wish I had one on top, because there are times when I specifically will change my DPI. It's very rare. It's a very, very minute detail. It's not that important, but I do wish that this was not on the bottom. On this one, if you actually click the button, it's red right now, which shows me it's on the lowest. White is the one above that. This one's the one above this. So the way I have it set on my M65 is this is 400 DPI. Use the DPI as low as possible, as low as you can 100% be comfortable with, right? 400 DPI is pretty much as low as anyone goes. Maybe the lowest possible. I don't know, man. But 400 is the juice. That's where I play. It's very low. This is going to be uncomfortable for you. You will not like it. I recommend at least starting at 800 DPI. 800 is comfortable. A lot of people, you can get used to it and at least start there. But the lower the DPI, the more precise every single movement, right, with your mouse will be. You'll be able to be 100% more precise because it literally just doesn't move as much, right? That being said, there will be times when you need a big ass mouse pad, right? Because sometimes to get from one thing to another, you got to be like, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like just just fucking picking her up, moving her, picking her up, moving her sometimes. That will happen if you're at a super low DPI, but it's worth it for the aim, right? But in inventory management, it can be a little bit AIDSy. I'm gonna have to put this seminar on pause while I run to go to the gas station for rock stars. All right, this kid's already messing up his life. You know what I'm saying? He's choosing Rockstar over Monster. You're already making bad decisions this morning, Tor. I'm very disappointed. Catching up with chat. Do you use these settings in non-FPS games as well? Often, yeah. Because I'm just used to it. Now, the last thing that we'll talk about is this, and I'm going to go into game to show you this. All right, so using a wall is a really good way to actually be able to show you this. So let's say we are, we're perpendicular with the wall right now, right? Let's go parallel. So I'm parallel. My gun barrel is parallel with the wall, right? So what you want is a DPI that allows you to comfortably move your wrist so that you can go from there and make a 180, right? So boom, with one wrist movement, right? I never picked my mouse up to do that. I almost went as far as my wrist could possibly go, but I never picked my mouse up. But I do angle my, my wrist pretty hard one way to get it all the way over to the other. But if you can make a 180, that in any game is exactly what you're looking for, usually. Usually that's the best.